next candidate is a professional educator and someone who is uniquely suited to her job. Her district, the State Board of Education, District 14, covers 28 counties. It is a large area. And as you know, one of the most pressing problems we have to remain competitive in this world and in this nation and in this state comes from education. I can't think of a more better or qualified candidate than Ms. Edra Bogle. Edwin?
I think I have been in education all of my life, since I was 3 and a half. And my mother moved to Pringar, Iowa to teach in a one-room country schoolhouse. She was a teacher. My grandmother had been a teacher. And when I went to college, I worked my way through college at Iowa State Teachers College, getting a double major in education and in library science. I worked in 3 different state teachers' colleges, and eventually ended up as education librarian at the University of Southern California so that I could work on a doctorate there. However, after taking a few language courses for my doctorate, I decided that comparative literature was a lot more interesting than library science, and I could be just as good a librarian. So I got a doctorate in comparative literature from USC, who won their game yesterday. And then I decided that instead of continuing as a librarian, I would go into teaching. So I came to Denton in 1968 to the University of North Texas. And there I taught the courses in world literature, in bibliography and research, in science fiction when I could get it. And I am running for State Board of Education because I think that local school boards know a lot more about the kind of needs of their school district than any state body of regulators, and certainly more than the legislature. Texas should not be penalizing school districts that have more students from lower socioeconomic levels than other school districts. This is They tend to, of course, have a lower average on one-size-fits-all state tests, and I could see in my own teaching how detrimental the various state tests were to the students as the ones who had the rigorous testing passed through elementary, high school, and got into college. You go by any classroom or hall on the last day of the semester, and most of the students have thrown away their notes. They have thrown away the facts that they memorized. Education should not be a high-stakes game of Trivial Pursuit. You need to have general ideas in your classroom as well as these factual matters. Finally, the state and the nation should not be considering the destruction of the public school system. One of the vouchers, excuse me, vouchers, charter schools, and the new proposal by some of our legislators that the state property tax to support public schools should be abolished, and we should raise the revenue for the public schools in other methods, which would almost certainly be an increase in the sales tax, is not a good idea. Now, with the increased educational demands of the modern world, is not time for this country to abandon one of the basic building blocks of this country's history, free public education. kinds of questions.
We've covered them too well.